This past Sunday marked 27 years of the Rebbe's yahrzeit, the Rebbe's passing. I flew to New York to spend time with other Hasidim, to spend time with family, to spend time at the Rebbe's resting place, to pray, to connect, to be inspired, to continue the Rebbe's legacy of dedication to Yiddishkeit, love, and inspiration. I heard a story, a short story, but a poignant story, which really conveyed to me a little of the Rebbe's love and dedication to each one of us. This happened to be my principal for my school, and he was a young man. He was moving into an apartment, and the new couple was moving into the apartment. They just got married, and they asked the Rebbe, if they told the Rebbe that they're moving into an apartment and they want to have a blessing. The Rebbe inquired which way the windows were facing. They really didn't pay attention to that, whether it was to the south, to the north. And the Rebbe said, knowing that street, only if it's a certain way you're going to get sunlight. Otherwise, you'll be blocked by other houses, or the sun is not going to shine at that time. And the young man didn't really pay attention to that, yet the Rebbe was very concerned that, especially that his wife has the sunlight and brightness in their lives. I think it really conveys how the Rebbe's dedication translated to love. This week's Torah reading is the Torah reading of Chukat. It speaks about the red heifer and how when a person comes in contact with a deceased, with a corpse, they have to be purified with ashes of the red heifer and live water, from a live stream of water. It's a whole formula, and it's called a Chukat, which means a supranational law and ritual, something that we don't really understand. It's like one of those laws that the Torah tells us, God tells us what to do, but doesn't explain, it doesn't tell us how it's going to enhance our lives. For instance, one of those known ones is the idea of not wearing clothing that's mixed wool and linen. We don't really have any reasoning for that. We know we do it because God told us. And the same thing with eating pork, not to eat pork. Jews don't eat pork. Why? It's a chukah. It's a statute that we don't really have an explanation for. God told us to do it, and we do it. Sometimes, when people do chukim, or people are involved, so dedicated to religion, in a way of extremism, if you will, you lose sight of the individuals. You lose sight of your fellow, because your mode and your connection is something far beyond human nature. You're doing something that's dedicated, that it doesn't really have a rationality. Your goal is not so much to live an enhanced life, but your goal is to be dedicated to higher ideals. And sometimes such people could lose sight of the needs of an individual. Same thing with leaders. Sometimes leaders are so involved with the klal, with the generation, with the general population, that they lose sight of an individual. But the Rebbe taught us that extremism means extremely, extremely loving, extremely, extremely caring. With the dedication, with the inspiration, with the supranational, we have to super-rationally care for each other. So when a young man is moving into an apartment, he doesn't really care which side the sun is shining. We have to care for him. We have to make sure that he has a good life with his wife and creates a beautiful family and has that sunlight that they need. May we all find that sunlight. May we all take inspiration from the Rebbe's life and legacy. And I hope you could join us tomorrow in Shul Synagogue for Shabbat services and a Kiddush afterwards. Shabbat Shalom.